Hello and welcome to the 16th Annual India Chemical Industry Outlook Conference and Exhibition organized by the Indian Chemical Council. Themed Indian Chemical Industry March to $1 trillion by 2040. A two-day event brought together leaders of the Indian chemical industry on a single platform for networking and discussing new business opportunities, joint ventures, collaborations, investments and much more. In this episode, we bring you exclusive event highlights. Day 1 kick-started with opening remarks by Mr. Kamal P. Nanavati, Chairman, Conference and Exhibition Committee ICC and President Strategy Development Reliance Industries.
Very welcome to this event, and thank you all for making this conference really a flying start. We go back and look at the future, energy, mobility and chemicals, Industry 4.0, Vision 2025, winning in the new normal, and India's $5 trillion economy, what's going to be the role of chemical industry there? And rightly so this time, chemical industry to rise to the level of almost $1 trillion. And if you really look at how our next door neighbor, and you find that India really lags way behind China in many of the chemical products. If I look at the other way around, there lies our opportunity for growth. We also need to reduce the imports. If we just look at some of the products between C1 to C6, chain of products, every year we import close to 10 million tons of products, valued at over $12 billion. That's a massive opportunity that's really available for us to really capture.
Next was a welcome address by Bimal Gokuldas, President ICC and Managing Director and CEO DMCC Specialty Chemicals.
I'd like to welcome you all today to the 16th edition of our Outlook Conference. It's become one of the biggest and most sought-after events in the chemical industry in India, at least. And we look forward to making it important on the global scale, just as we are trying to make the chemical industry of India a global scale economy. I'm also pleased to inform you that we will be signing an MOU today with the Institute of Chemical Technology. That's my alma mater. This is specifically for establishing a center of excellence. The Indian chemical industry is made up of thousands of small, medium, large producers. And the idea of signing this MOU is to give access to world-class research to even the MSME sector, the micro, small, and medium enterprise sector. Yes, we've got challenges, but we do have a supportive government. We have millions of smart people coming into the workforce every year. And, we have an entrepreneurial mindset throughout the country. So, do participate and look forward to all of you joining us in India's growth and India's march towards a $1 trillion chemical economy. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Up next, we have Eric Firwald, Global CEO of Syngenta, taking center stage.
Our purpose is to help ensure food security for all and take agriculture from being part of the climate change problem to being a key part of the solution by capturing CO2 from the air and creating oxygen and having that carbon captured in the soil to enrich the soil. Now, this is critically important because the world is already facing a major food security crisis while the population continues to grow. Climate change-driven weather extremes are causing far more heat waves, droughts, floods, and high wind events than ever before. They are destroying vast areas of crops each year. So we must help farmers adopt modern technologies and practices to grow even more on the existing farmland despite these weather extremes. And they need to do so in ways that take agriculture towards zero carbon emissions. To support Indian farmers, Syngenta is constantly bringing out new innovations to better help growers increase yields and adapt to climate change.
Next, Nikhil R. Meswani, Executive Director at Reliance Industries, shared his take on the emerging world of oil to chemicals and sustainability challenges and opportunities.
Chemical industry represents material of things and it's a key solution provider. It is not a polluter. Atmanirbhar Bharat is an opportunity to grow the industry and multiply ourselves maybe grow at least 2 to 3 times on the back of India opportunity. This growth from oil to chemicals is in a decarbonized and a sustainable world. It is a world where we will have the benefit of China plus one, where we can create alliance with our downstream, remove our volatility of the industry, and grow even faster. This opportunity will no longer be by pure technology. It will be either by the research of our own people, our talent, or by joint ventures and alliances. And the Indian entrepreneurship and innovation will harness this opportunity.
Next up, we have a keynote address by Chris Musso, Senior Partner, Denver, Rocky Mountains, McKinsey & Company, USA, on where is the global chemicals industry headed.
I've gotten to spend a lot of time across the world with leaders of the chemicals industry, and I can tell you that nowhere else in the world is there more entrepreneurship than India. They asked me to speak about what we're seeing at McKinsey in the chemical space, and there are four big things that we want to talk to you about, right? So the first is the frequent supply chains that are causing massive volatility in our industry. The second is the difficulty in organic growth. Now, this may not be as applicable to India because you've got so much growth available still, but it's really difficult in Europe, it's really difficult in North America, and they're very worried about it, and they're very worried about you, and I think they should be, right? Because you're coming after them and you have a great opportunity to do that. The third is digital. In manufacturing, in supply chain, in sales and marketing, digital is making a big difference, and the best players are going to be able to bring more and more digital to their customers. And then the last one's around sustainability, and I'll talk about this quite a bit. In fact, there's no way that we as humanity can achieve our decarbonization goals without real progress in the chemicals industry, and that means there's a huge opportunity. And I think you as entrepreneurs will be able to recognize that and jump on it.
Dr. Shrikar K. Reddy, IFS, Joint Secretary at the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India, shared insights on India-UAE partnership.
India has to become a $30 trillion economy by 2047. So this is a vision set by our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. For that to achieve, I think we exports have to contribute at least 8 trillion by 2047. Last year is also important because for the first time we have signed 2 important trade agreements, the India-UAE Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement and the India-Australia Economic Cooperation and Trade Agreement. So now we are trying to do agreements with countries where there is a huge trade complementarity. So especially if you see the UAE and also Australia, so you can see they're also very important trading partners. You can see the UAE is the 3rd largest trading partner of India and also the 2nd largest export destination of India after the United States with a $29 billion US dollars for the year 2019-20. In fact, UAE offered us 90% of Indian export immediate zero duty benefit. And over a period of 5 to 10 years, overall UAE is offered to eliminate tariffs on 97% of the tariff lines amounting to 99% of Indian exports to UAE. So we hope that through these trade agreements, we can also attract a lot of investment, not only for the domestic market, but also for the other markets internationally.
Arun Baroka, IAS, Secretary, Chemicals and Petrochemicals, Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers, Government of India, decoded how policies will propel growth in the sector.
With respect to the enabling environment which we are creating, we have 2 important institutions in the country. One is CPET. CPET, it was earlier poised for the plastics. Now we are moving from plastics to petrochemicals. This facility is not only providing the industry interface, but also providing the skilling as well as many educational programs like BTech and the PhD facilities also. We'd like it to be converted into a center of or institute of national importance. We are working towards that. And this will provide better interface with the industry. So there is a big opportunity to work in this sector, and we are here to provide you that kind of enabling environment which is required for the industry to grow.
The event also witnessed Indian Chemical Council signing an MOU with the Institute of Chemical Technology, Mumbai, to establish the Centre of Excellence in order to identify key R&D areas with a focus on MSMEs. The inaugural session of Day 1 was concluded with a vote of thanks by Rajan Mariwala, Vice President ICC and CEO Eternus Fine Chemicals.
I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Mr. Arun Baroka ji for his quick, positive and always very, very responsive to ideas and putting our enablers, as he talked about them, into place so that we can move forward. Dr. Srikhar Reddy, Joint Secretary Commerce, has played a stellar role in finalizing the vital FTAs, and he still continues to work on them. So we are looking forward to many more FTAs, sir, and hoping that that would aid Indian exports substantially. And with that, I thank you all and have a great day.
On Day 1 of the 16th Annual India Chemical Industry Outlook Conference and Exhibition, various other panel discussions and fireside sessions were held which delved deep into topics such as opportunity for India in a challenging world, enabling growth through investments, Mission Atmanirbhar, inspiration from parallels, leveraging learnings from alike growth journeys, feedstock strategy for sustainable growth and many more. A grand exhibition with 34 booths was held alongside the conference, wherein more than 20 companies participated to showcase their new products and innovations in the chemical sector across various verticals. The Expo was a great opportunity for the companies to make new business connections, reinforce old ones, demonstrate technical capabilities, and learn about what their peers were doing. Welcome back. Day 2 of the 16th Annual India Chemical Industry Outlook Conference and Exhibition commenced with opening remarks by the guest of honor, Susanta Kumar Purohit, Joint Secretary, Department of Chemicals and Petrochemicals, Government of India.
As you know that the per capita consumptions of chemical products is very low, and it is about 1/10 of the global average, and India contributes to about 3% of the global chemical sales, ranks 6th in the world and 4th in Asia for chemical sales, and it covers 80,000, more than 80,000 products, and it also contributes to 12% to India's total export. And as you see that the market size of our industry in 2020 was about $187 billion, and it is growing at the rate of 9%. So we'll touch about say 286 or about close to $300 billion US in 2025. As we know that there are a lot of growth drivers for the sector: demographic dividend and disposable income, increasing demand for specialty chemicals, production and consumption shift to India, and growing policy support of central and state government. So the projected market size is we are about to say reach more than 2 trillion by 2047. So to seize this opportunity and take this forward. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Next, we have an exclusive chat on thinking back and looking ahead.
What are your reflections for the industry in terms of sustainability and new products?
All industries should play a role in the carbon neutral goal. GHG emissions should be reduced, more green energy should be produced. And so without a partiality, our goal for all is neutrality, whether water, carbon or solid waste. And very soon we will make haste to make our net emissions zero. As technology takes the leap, green energy gets very cheap. Keen observers quickly saw that solar also tracks Moore's law. I'll just add a little bit about the raw materials. And I think biological raw materials, we have all used them. We've used wood, we've used sugar, we've used vegetable oil, as I do in my business. But it's possible to grow bamboo at a very low cost making it a potential raw material as well as fuel. And if you convert all fields producing food to trees, India's carbon emissions problem could well be solved.
Any reflections, Mukunth, from you?
Look at what has been achieved by a country like Netherlands, country like Israel. Netherlands today is the second largest exporter of food products. Israel actually is one of the largest exporters of fruits and vegetables. And what they've done is with very limited availability of water, and the process they've done it is very low consumption of fertilizer, pesticides, and agriculture is now computer-enabled. It is digital and data-driven. Take even bamboo, for example. Bamboo with drip irrigation is a fantastic idea in terms of productivity. So every piece of the puzzle opens up an avenue for us. And we can be a food factory of the world.
Day 2 also witnessed industry leaders, CEOs of many leading Indian chemical companies and MNCs addressing the delegates on various topics such as building adherence towards safety and sustainability, embedding enterprise within Indian chemicals, building the industry think tank, what's the latest development, key enablers to propel growth, infrastructure and regulation, and much more. Day 2 ended with a vote of thanks by D. Sothi Selvam, Director General ICC.
Respected dignitaries and esteemed delegates, as we come to the end of this 16th edition of ICC's India Chemical Industry Outlook Conference and Exhibition, it's now my pleasant task to summarize the key insights. We heard about new technologies and processes that are being developed to improve the efficiency, reduce emissions, and increase the circularity of chemical production.
Well, I feel that maybe our universities and all, and also the industry, they should have some sort of an arrangement by which some students, maybe at the end of 3 years or so, they go to the chemical plants and take some training and understand what is the chemicals are doing and what type of plants are there and all. But it has to be made more attractive for them.
India's growth story is clear. The question is whether we will achieve that growth by Make in India or whether we will continue to import. India is a net importer of chemicals. So ICC, as part of these conferences and other events, we are trying to make India a place for manufacturing.
Chemical industry, chemicals per se, they may not be having a very positive kind of an image, so we need to have a better image building for that. We need to ensure that people join in this sector, particularly the chemistry and chemical engineering. So we are working together with the industry to make sure that we are able to, first of all, attract people and then retain them and provide a good environment for them to work in this sector.
Of recent times, because of COP26 and because of all the sustainability and the carbon neutrality, I think the traction that the industry now has to invest in sustainability is much higher. However, I think it also needs to be understood, depending on the size of the company and depending on the type of company, that it would vary the degree of interest. But I would have to say that right now the sustainability mantra is now very much strong in Indian industry.
The India-UAE Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, so already a lot of Indian companies are benefiting by exporting to the UAE under the agreement, especially for the chemical industry. Earlier the import duty was 5%. Now for most of the chemical products, UAE has lowered the import duty to 0. So thereby we have also seen there a lot of growth of export of chemical products to the UAE market. So thereby it is enabling India to also be part of the supply chains. So it is benefiting both reducing the trade costs and benefiting the chemical industry.
I see strong momentum for the Indian chemical sector, and that strong momentum is driven both by domestic demand as well as export opportunities. Anywhere between 8 to 10% growth would be quite reasonable to have from a volume perspective. I think if I look at subsectors, you break up the chemical industry into specialty chemicals, inorganics, and petchem intermediates. I see opportunities in all three.
I think the key challenge is really to scale up to the next level A lot of companies are in the range of 300 to 1,000 crores. On physical infrastructure, everybody knows we need land and we need host of other facilities. But I think the government is doing a lot in trying to bring the enablers and putting the enablers in place. So it's now for the companies to start working on these things.
R&D is, like US and China, all the chemical companies, small, medium scale or the large scale, everybody is connected with the professor of the university. So that is the biggest weak point which we have in India. If somehow with the policy change or with the incentives to the universities or incentives to the companies, I think we can bring universities and the education system together with the industries. I think that will it's a big boost for the next 10 years or in terms of the innovation also. So I think the education systems need to be connected with the each company, manufacturing company, that will give a real boost.
We are probably one of the oldest chemical industries of India, 80-year-old. So we have seen it evolve over a long period. But of course, as we all know, evolution is a continuous process. There is nothing like an end and nothing like a beginning. So industry is also evolving. Along with that, I think the conscious about environment, consciousness about the image that you have as an industry, what kind of products, what kind of technologies uses, all this is becoming not only needed, but also is getting more and more urgent. So I think the whole transformation of the chemical industry that is taking place is very, very interesting. On one side challenging, but on the other side also full of opportunities.
I see the chemical industry as a knowledge industry because the amount of R&D work that can be done in this area is immense. So I do see that the chemical industry, just as a manufacturing base and in its export base, will grow significantly. Specialty chemicals is an area which I see which will have immense growth potential.
I believe that the chemical industry should really plan to move from cradle to cradle rather than cradle to grave. And in this area where we are talking about getting a circular economy, it would be useful to ensure that the government is supporting the industry by giving it the sustainable or the solar power that is being generated to the industry as a priority, so that both cost-effective power is available and it is green power that is available. With this power, the industry will be able to convert its byproducts or waste products back into the main products and therefore achieve circular economy.
The march towards a $1 trillion economy for the chemical industry in India essentially requires three things. One is speed, innovation, and skilling. And I think the chemical industry, especially the larger players, have to take it up wholeheartedly to ensure that this happens in the shortest period of time possible.
We have recently developed a perspective vision plan for 2040, which we are now amending to 2047 and submitting to the government. The other one is we are working on a special report on specialty chemicals, because specialty chemicals is going to grow in a very big way in this country. So these are two very important initiatives which were taken recently.
There is volatility in the world. There's opportunity for India and the enabling environment. And I'm quite sure that in the chemical industry, we all see the opportunity. We are in a super cycle of CapEx, and the government, we haven't seen this kind of an interaction where they are genuinely wanting this $1 trillion chemical industry to happen.